Hey there, Internet! Welcome to 23. That's our episode number, and
Oh,
it's
that was
Tissues.
cool. That
What,
was like a
really?
song.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Hey
No.
there, internet. Now it's 23.
We're on to our episode 23 of Tissues of the Day with myself, Robert Mackay, and
David, hi.
we are a show about queer cultures and relationship. I did that in
The
reverse.
multiple
Queer
cultures of the
culture
queer.
and relationships. Now it's in order. There we go. And today, it's just going to be about me and David doing another round of riffing on the format of our show. Where we're trying something a little bit more news-related. So we got some silly news, we got some games, and you're going to enjoy it. David, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm realizing it maybe has been like 6 weeks since you've hosted an episode of this show.
That I have specifically?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's been a long time.
Well, there was the one
we
I
took a
missed where
break.
you were with, where you were
Yeah,
with
I
your
guess it was the one
friend.
with Amy, I guess was the last one you hosted.
Yeah, but we had a
In
bit of a
June?
break. Has it been that long? Wow.
It's been a while.
Oh
It's
my
been a
gosh.
while. So I'm glad Robert is taking control.
Yeah,
He's
and the
driving the
thing
vehicle.
and the thing is, I kind of like it's like slipping onto like an old bike, or riding,
Slipping and falling onto an old bike.
It just feels very natural and very very fine. In fact, although I say that, even though the first run of this is actually the second take of this, I completely screwed up because I had the wrong thing written down, and I said episode 22.
I
even
was
though we're on
willing to keep it a
23.
secret.
No, I need to admit my fault, and I want to clear all the skeletons out of my closet. I want them to come out as much as I did, you know?
You want to fail gracefully? That's a callback to that episode with
Ooh.
Olivia.
That is true. Failing gracefully. Who, Olivia, speaking of which, is in the other room right now watching
Ooh.
a show, and she's bundled up like a cute Cheeto. It's great. She's got an orange blanket. It's not because she is orange.
That's important. Yeah, she's bundled up like a Cheeto in a plain blanket. Oh.
But she just got a
Oh.
horrible case of like just bad Tannerod. Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm good. How are you? Living that London life?
Yeah, I was just out in the L dot, is that what we call it? The LND, the big smoke. Some people call it.
Oh, I didn't know that's what they called it.
I think that came from a historical referencing of them having a lot of chimney stacks and a lot of smoke and pollution. So it's like considered the big smoke back in the day.
Big smoke, but L dot is what?
I don't know. It's like T dot, Toronto. Just take any city name, take the first letter, throw a dot after it.
I'm D dot.
You're D dot. I'm R dot. It's just like eventually you're just everyone's just like, are you just saying the alphabet? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was there for a week. I came back today. It was lovely. It was a week of viewing neighborhoods, viewing homes, some social life, going out, plus working, and just running around a lot. So I'm just exhausted. But it was good. It was very good. What about your past week?
It was good. Classwork and job hunting, pretty much. Just doing interviews, doing little tests for one job, and I'll hopefully hear in the next week. I feel like I've been saying that for the past 2 months. I'm like, I'll hear next week.
This isn't new job, new test. This is an additional test, right?
Additional test for
Okay.
the same job that I've been talking to.
Ooh, fingers
Let's not
crossed.
disclose too much.
Oh no. Let's
But-
fingers crossed. I was just wondering. I was like, ooh, is there something else in the pipeline? But
If only. There's some other editing jobs or marketing jobs. So yeah. So
yeah.
we'll see.
And you know what? I probably the longest, most drawn out job like application I ever did in my life had gone to the Canadian government. I had applied for this job, and I filled out like I think it was like a survey. Was it a survey? No, it wasn't a survey. No, I can't. I just submitted. That's all I had done. I had submitted, and 6 months later, after I got a job, started working at it. It might have been 8 months. It was quite a while. I finally got this like email saying, "Congratulations, you've reached round 2. Please fill out this survey if you want to be considered an applicant for this job." And I'm like, I already have one, and I've been working at it for like 3 months. Like, why? Why are you so slow?
Slow government. That I totally understand. But even businesses, like this one business I'm talking to, they have mostly a remote staff. they seem to have like 5 people in the office that they're working for, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
talking to them since early May, trying to fill this role for an editor. And
Oh my
there was a
gosh.
point where they're like, "Yeah, we're looking to hire mid-July." It was funny actually. In the interview, she was like, "We're looking to hire mid-June," and it was like it was June 29th when we were having the interview, and
And
I
now
was like,
July is almost over.
"Yeah," I was like, we're past mid-June." She's like, "Oh right, mid-July. That's what I meant."
I'm of 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. And you know what? I have being in worlds often connected to HR. I know why it takes so long, especially if it's small
Yeah.
HR staff. It is literally like if it's not the small staff and their busyness that draws it out, and you usually always have like way more people in the pipeline compared to the number you're like actually hiring and interviewing for. It's being
Mhm.
dependent upon all the like the managers and other people who actually are going to make use of the role to be
Right.
available to make decisions. So you're just always stuck between delays, and it's like, yeah, I kind of feel for them sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because the last email I sent them was like, "Oh, I'm in Washington and I'll be back in Vancouver August 1st. So if we're gonna do an interview, it'll be a video interview." Which, like, really, they should roll with it. But like,
Yeah.
they
Oh
didn't
yeah.
say anything right away, so I was just like, "Mm, if they get pissy with me about needing
Oh
to do
yeah.
a video interview when they've taken this long,
Yeah.
I will be a little, I will have to call out a little hypocrisy."
They shouldn't at all. It should be entirely. Oh gosh, yeah, no, it should be entirely okay, especially in this pandemic world where you have the capacity to do interviews very easily over
Yeah.
telephone or video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully
Awesome.
by our next recording, I'll be employed if things go according to plan, because we
Exciting.
record these at 2-week intervals.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Um
Okay, David, keep
yeah,
piping that
sure,
dream.
sure, David. Okay. Okay, so any highlights from your week outside of the job world? Any little
Yes.
stories to share? Personal stories?
Yes. Well, I shouldn't say on the podcast. It's still a little fresh. But yeah, just been living that dating life. I've talked to you about this
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
And trying to experiment, trying to like have a hot boy summer.
Well, okay,
Because
can we
yeah.
define what that means? Like I've heard this reference so many times, and I'm like, is it just to
Yeah.
say like you were attractive during summer, or is there something specific to what is a hot boy or girl or non-binary summer? Like what
Right,
is
right,
that?
right. Hot girl summer is promiscuous summer. Hot boy summer is
Oh,
promiscuous summer. I'm pretty sure that's all it means. So it's just like,
okay.
have a party, have some hookups, go on some dates. Try not to think as much long term.
Just don't
Just like,
think
just
about
try
life.
not to fucking think
Yeah.
any thoughts.
Don't become
Just
vapid and
be
just do.
embodied.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
No,
that's
yeah,
like
that's all it
overly
is.
simplistic. I thought it was going to be something more complicated than that, but well, okay, that makes sense.
No, Robert, it's something popular. It has to be
It
simplistic.
has to be simplistic. Otherwise, the public can't understand.
um,
Ugh.
yeah, I saw this funny meme that was like someone is basically pasting a conversation with their therapist, and it goes, therapist asks me, "So, why don't you think it's possible to have a hot girl summer this year?" And then the girl is like, "Because of the pandemic?" And then the therapist is like, "Are you sure that's the only reason?" And it's like, fuck off, therapist.
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
that's a little bit of a jab from the therapist. Like, come on,
Hmm.
aren't you sure you just kind of screwed up?
Yeah. Are you just, yeah, exactly. Are you just getting in your own way of not
Oh
enjoying
gosh.
hot girl summer?
Well, speaking of postings and that, I have one thing that I'm going to post. This is the first time in my life I've come across this,
Mhm.
or maybe I should have done this earlier and didn't think about it. But I went to an exhibit during my week. This exhibit that was very good by an artist named Ryoji Ikeda,
Okay.
so Japanese artist. I'm probably mispronouncing it. And it was very good, but the whole point of it was about having audio and visual that pushes the limits of humans and really like
Okay.
challenges them. And so there's a lot of like flashing, quick moving lights and sound and stuff like that. So
Whoa.
I had recorded some stuff from it. I was going to post, but I was like, oh, I never really thought about this until another friend of mine had posted about, hey, I'm epileptic, and recently I got sent something that was extremely, like potentially like life threatening to me because it could have caused an attack. And
Mm,
so I was just like, oh gosh, I never thought about the fact that, like, sometimes you could really legitimately post something that if somebody out there has like an auditory or visual like trigger,
yeah.
it could be problematic for them, especially in things like as scroll-tacular as like Instagram or like that, where it's just gonna pop up and start animating, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't
Mm.
posted it yet, but I'm like, I put in a full-on trigger warning at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, you have to edit that in. Um, wow, that's a really tough one. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds like a real slippery slope for someone with photosensitivity to be scrolling on social media. Like,
Yeah, right. In general, I bet it's probably
yeah,
just an issue for them.
yeah, I feel like phones would just be a tinderbox. Like, ha ha ha.
I get it.
No pun intended.
There's literally a
Um,
Tinder on it.
uh, I want to say too, just one last tangent about
Mm.
the therapy and hot girl summer thing.
Mm-hmm.
In November, I did actually have my therapist like call me out on
Being a hot girl.
like on well, yeah. No, on like looking for long distance kind of flirting with people.
Mm.
Because I said to my therapist, I was like, well, the past 3 guys I've dated have all been named Andrew. I hope they're not listening. And there has been an element of distance to all of them. They've all lived like far away or been like unreachable in some way. And my
Mm.
therapist is like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, yes, I am flagging that there is a distance element involved.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, why is that important, David? I'm like, well,
Oh.
because of COVID. And she's like, uh she goes, well, COVID provides a convenient excuse for avoidant detachers because we're not really looking for like closeness or intimacy with
Oh,
people. It was like, God damn
bam.
it.
I just always have some sort of emotional or physical distance that is causing me to
Yeah,
not have
I just don't know
boyfriends.
what could possibly be causing
Yeah.
this. It was so funny. I've been reading again about attachment theory lately. And I took a quiz and it turns out I'm like a confused attachment style. Like I just have elements of both anxious and avoidant attachment. But yeah, we won't get into that this episode.
All the long distance Andrews in the world, be careful of Dave.
Hmm. Yeah, if your name's Andrew, watch out. I'm just gonna like set up a 2-hour perimeter around where you live.
There is right now some like Andrew in Mongolia that you were chatting with. You're like, hey, long distance cutie.
Absolutely.
Or you're gonna be like, what's that? You're in like Andorra? Wow, suddenly you got
Wow.
hotter.
Hot.
What planet are you on? Get out.
Get out.
Yeah.
Or should I say, get in?
Ooh, dirty. Excellent. Well, I'm glad for that little update. I want us to kick us off into our little segment where we're mixing things up and we're trying a news breakdown. So what this is going to be about is that we've both gone out and collected bizarre, offbeat, shocking, or fun articles out in the news world, and we are going to present them as a little bit of like a review analysis on this article, this bizarre article, and like why it exists. And so we're gonna each came in prepared with our own, and we're gonna throw it back and forth, and then we're gonna see where the news goes from there. Sound good, David?
Yeah.
David was replaced with a Muppet.
It sounds so good.
Yeah, excellent. So I'm gonna get you to kick it off, David. What is
Okay.
our first news article? What is out there in the world today?
Our first article today is about a woman arrested in Punta Gorda, Florida, after skinny dipping in a stranger's pool.
Repeat that title again.
A woman was arrested after skinny dipping in a stranger's pool.
In what
So-
town?
In Punta Gorda, Florida.
Punta Gorda. Okay. What happened?
Yeah. Gorda Point. I don't know.
Mhm.
So a Florida man returning home from a doctor's appointment found a stranger skinny dipping in his backyard swimming pool, sheriff's officials said. At first, the man only noticed clothes scattered across his lanai earlier in the week.
Oh,
What's a
that's
lanai?
like the patio off the back. I think it's usually elevated, or maybe elevated. It's what they had in the Golden Girls.
Oh, great.
I'm
Yes.
that gay.
A famous Florida family.
Yeah.
Are they a family? Friends?
They friends.
Lovers?
They were definitely. Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah. Charlotte County Sheriff's officials said in a social media post Tuesday. Then he saw the woman in his pool and called deputies. The woman was hostile and told sheriff's deputies to leave her alone, the report said. They asked her several times to get out of the pool and get dressed. She finally followed their orders, but resisted when deputies tried to detain her. She pulled away and said she was not going anywhere. Deputies took her to the Charlotte County Jail, but she refused to tell them her name. Officials eventually identified her through previous jail booking photos. The 42-year-old woman was charged with trespassing and resisting a law enforcement officer without violence. Aw. So, all right.
Gosh.
So who do we feel sorry for in this story?
I feel sorry for the woman.
Yeah. Me
She
too.
was not gonna. I just flinged my headphones around. She was not gonna leave that pool. She had a right to be there. Leave it up to Florida.
I don't know if she had a right to be there.
Oh God, no, not at
all. But I feel like the police call was unnecessary.
Yeah, you could really honestly just be like, please leave. This is ridiculous. Unless she was like a threat in some way.
Right? She's naked. Like, she's in like one of the more vulnerable positions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why does this always come from Florida? Did you just look up Florida news?
Maybe.
I knew it. Everything from Florida, the news out of there is so bizarre.
It really is. I mean, it's the taint of America.
Oh, ow.
Yeah. Florida's the taint. Texas is the dick and balls. And what's it? California is the butt crack.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, no, that's backwards. That's a backwards body if you're looking at the states.
Yeah, it is.
You can't flip the taint with the dick and balls. You see what I'm saying? We don't have taints in front and then dick and balls like under.
No,
that'd be interesting though.
This is not the normal biology. That's not what normally happens.
Did you know the taint is the last part of the body to
be formed,
close, or develop, or something?
Maybe that's why it's so sensitive.
It could be. Here, wait. What's it called? The perenium? The perenium?
Perenium. Yeah, I think
so. Taint checking. Okay, no, that's something else.
Okay. While you look at that up,
please. I'm sorry.
I have to say that it's just first off, I think it's kind of interesting that there's sort of the first world problems of like having property to own, especially large enough to have somebody to walk upon it, walk through it, or whatever. That it's like it's a big issue, right? And
I know I don't relate.
Yeah, there was actually, but you know, there obviously is some like legitimate concerns for things. Like I was watching a film this past weekend, yesterday actually, that at one point in the film, these two people decide to hop a fence and get on a horse because they've always wanted to be on a horse. And there's just these like horses and a huge piece of property, like, and I'm talking like acres of property, and you know, they just wanted to sit on it and they didn't run. They didn't do any meal horse. They're actually treating it very nicely and just sat on it. And out of this, like, probably hundreds of acres of property, and you couldn't see, based off the shot, couldn't see a home. Somewhere in the distance, you hear this, "Get off my property!" And I'm just like, there was the one loophole. Like, it's a very good film, but there's one loophole that I was just like, I think they just needed a reason to incite, like, an incident for them to run away. But it's like, there is no house and there is no guy with such good eyesight that from acres away could see this one horse.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, he's just up in a spire with a telescope, like waiting for trespassers.
With one of those
I feel
giant,
like from that far away. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, with one of those like giant like Vuvuzela style like horns that are like straight out of like a Dr. Seuss novel. That's like, get off my property.
Totally. Before he makes announcements, it's just like a boo like across the whole thing.
Oh no, it's old man Vuvuzela.
I'm trying to find this factoid
about the taint.
About the taint.
How did this new show get medical?
Yeah. Well, we're here to learn, Robert. We're here to learn and to educate. That will. Oh, hello, medical photography. That's real. Clinical significance. God. Well, it's going to be a mystery. Feel free to email us at bitbuttbiz@gmail.com if you know more facts about the perineum.
We're gonna
Feel
get
free to send
a
pictures.
whole of
Just kidding. Do not
one.
send pictures of perineum to the Gmail.
Yeah. Oh, God.
What's your
Well,
article, Robert?
You're looking it up, so that's your fault. You're gonna see it one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is mine. Get this bit of a title. Dolphins deliberately get high on pufferfish nerve toxins by carefully chewing and passing them around. That's
I
right.
had no
Dolphins
idea.
are thought as to be one of the most intelligent species in the animal kingdom, and experts believe that they may put their ingenuity to use in the pursuit of getting high. In extraordinary scenes filmed for a new documentary, young dolphins were seen carefully manipulating a certain kind of pufferfish, which, if provoked, will release as a nerve toxin. So these dolphins legit just like, hey guys,
Yeah.
you want to get high?
You guys
they
want
just-
to hang out?
And they just pass around this. Do you want to
Yeah.
take a hoot of this puffer?
Yeah.
You see that coral over there? We know a spot.
Just
There's so many puffers.
wandering around.
I'm just gonna nibble on them a little.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click. Come this way.
And
You
then
want to have a little click, click pass?
click, click, pass. You just see a circle of them. There's like,
Click, 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 click. Oh God,
Holy shit.
I'm feeling it.
Who discovered these dolphins? Does it say?
no, I don't see that. In fact, I can't see the complete article because it's off of the Independent, so I have to register to see the remainder of it. But,
Yeah.
It the thing is that I find it very interesting because when you think about it, like dolphins are also the ones that are known to be one of the few species that has sex for pleasure, like humans, right? And they find it very interesting because most species on the planet do it for procreation. They stop there. Some of them do it and it's like a horrible experience and it's not even pleasurable, which makes sense why they wouldn't do it multiple times. But like there's others that like I guess are capable of feeling pleasure, but they don't ever do it for pleasure other than dolphins and humans. And so it's just like, well, if dolphins do these other things like getting high for pleasure, it's like maybe it's not totally unnatural for humans to do it. You know, like we have a lot of bias towards intoxicants or intoxication.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
who knows?
Is it not, do not certain species of apes have sex for pleasure?
I think
Or
maybe.
Is that somewhat different?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's-
Email us if you know.
Email us at
bitbuttbiz@gmail.com. We're all about the butt business.
yeah, we want to know about pereniums. We want to know about any of those dolphins out there having sex for pleasure or about monkeys.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this little diagram that says chimpanzees have a higher estrus sex ratio, meaning there are more males competing for fewer females. That's an estrus sex ratio. It goes severe inter-male sexual competition, very limited female choice. But in bonobos, there's a lower estrus sex ratio where it says about 6 males compete for about like 3 females. Lowering that ratio. It goes lower intermale sexual competition, higher level of female choice, higher social status of females. Wow, the world is a fascinating place. So I got to do it, Robert. I got to say something political. These dolphins are coping with the shittier and shittier conditions of the ocean.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
getting high.
Yeah. Maybe they've always gotten high to some degree. I can imagine that's a trait that gets passed down, but I don't blame them. You know, they're one of the
It's
smartest
such a political
species.
statement. There's so many layers to this. It's like our oceans are getting worse, and our dolphins are having worse education, and as a result, they're getting high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the opposite of addiction is connection, Robert.
This is your dolphin on drugs.
Yeah. If we want dolphins to quit drugs, we got to promote a better environment, a better learning environment, a better ecological environment.
They need more click click and less pass.
Yeah, just more click, more
Just-
connection.
Just open up more, dolphins. Just talk to each other. Stop
It's so
passing
brutal.
around the puffer.
Yeah.
This has been a
at some point,
PSA from Bit and Button and Tissues of the Day.
in another month or two, there's a book on my reading list that's literally called like Addiction, Recovery, Attachment, and Trauma or something like that. And it's like this very wide-ranging book about addiction and the ability of like connection and ecological systems to benefit people and hopefully discourage addictive behavior. But yeah, the author really talks about how like addiction is a systemic problem. Like we really can't necessarily blame individuals for everything. Even though we also want to celebrate individuals for when they get clean or go sober and all of that stuff. It's like it's just messy, and I'm sure it's going to be even messier for these dolphins.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Oh, sorry, David. I just have something's coming in on both of my earpieces. It is so important that it's coming in on my headset from both ears. I have an article that's just in. David, please, I'm gonna patch it into you.
Yeah. Okay,
Tell
here's
us
the
what
article.
it is.
Thousands of people are watching this boring live stream from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and nobody knows why. The live feed was set up about 6 weeks ago as part of a drive to draw more visitors to the tourist town, but viewer numbers suddenly spiked on Sunday. This is from The Independent. There's a video. Shall I play back the video?
You can, but I don't know if anyone's gonna see it.
Yeah.
What town is this coming from, David?
Jackson Hole.
Oh my
So the lovely town of Jackson Hole is not a sex town.
No, it's not.
And there are more at the time of writing. There were more than 2,000 people watching that live stream from just a webcam pointed at a traffic intersection in Jackson Hole. The live feed was set up about 6 weeks ago to drive tourism, and I have to register for free to continue my job.
Oh my gosh. We are not investing any dollars into this, so stop right there.
Yeah, cut the teleprompter.
First and foremost, when that came in, my expectation was that Jackson Hole was purely just a debaucherous town full of sexual live streaming, but it has nothing going on.
Nothing going on in this intersection, which is too bad.
If I remember correctly, the article also indicated that there was a gentleman who said that he was going to go to that intersection to do something at the webcam and post it on 4chan. Unfortunately, the gentleman never showed, so then the internet and its stupidity took over. It started just referencing live in the chat bot various things like green light, red light, somebody crossing the street, and eventually it got so popular that the rest, it started featuring on YouTube's homepage, and that's where you had thousands of people watching this intersection commenting on nothing.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, I really wonder about like surveillance, I guess, and like live streaming, and how there's this like push and pull between surveillance but also people willing to like broadcast themselves, and you know how we define what a show is or what entertainment is. Like for me, entertainment can very often be going to a crowded area and just people watching for a while and like picking up little bits of conversation here and there. But I feel like there's going to be an equivalent of that in the future where you can just eavesdrop on like almost anything.
I'm surprised that like Jackson Hole, Wyoming's surveillance camera actually has a chat function that you can like discuss
to
what's
drive
going on.
tourism. That's a really odd choice for tourism. Be like, look at our fucking intersection. Like this
is the intersection
lit.
at 4th and Main, right here in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and there is nothing but the nicest 1980s cars driving through.
Yeah, like, what was the occasion? What were they going for? I gotta wonder. Jackson
Yeah.
Hole. Who's the mayor of Jackson Hole?
You would think you would point it at like an event space, or maybe like, I don't know, something at the zoo, something where there's constant interesting action going on, but just people stopping and going.
Just people stopping and going. Red light.
I know.
Green light.
Red light.
Red light.
Green light.
So
yellow
dystopian.
Light. Right?
Jackson Hole. Who's the mayor? Who's the mayor? I want to know. Jackson Hole. Who's the mayor?
We're going to find out soon. I want to know who is the mayor of Jackson's Hole.
I'm the mayor of Jackson. But Jackson Hole. I hate the name of this town the more I say it.
You want fun town names? Welcome to England, David. There is an entire list of like 50 some odd English town names. And so I'm on vacation starting
Yeah.
tomorrow, and we're
my
doing
God.
little trips to various small towns. I came across one. I'm gonna have to look it up again. That was just like, oh, it was called Braintree. There's a town called Braintree,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't too far from the town that I visited recently called Fingering Hoe.
I love that.
So who's our mayor?
I can't find it. Jackson Hole doesn't have a mayor.
That's
come
the
on.
problem. They've never had
on.
a mayor
Yeah.
to put together a proper marketing campaign for their tours.
Who's steering this ship?
Nobody's steering his hole. He's a very lonely Jackson.
I'm so close. Hang on.
Well,
I'm sorry,
David,
I'm
do
not
not
I'm
say
not
that.
that close.
Don't
I'm
say
not
that
that
in
close.
context to sex stuff.
The town of Jackson is governed by a mayor, yes. The town of Jackson is governed by the mayor who? Who is it? Okay, Haley Morton Levinson is the mayor.
Lemonson or Levinson?
Levinson. Haley
Okay,
Morton Levinson is the mayor. She's a woman. Vice mayor is Arne
HLM.
Jorgensen.
The what?
Arne Jorgensen is the vice mayor. All right.
There's
that's
a
all I need
vice
to know.
mayor? How
There's
big
a
is
vice
that
mayor.
town that they need a vice mayor? Vancouver is a massive city and it has one mayor.
Yeah. Does Vancouver not have a vice mayor?
I didn't think so, but maybe there are vice
Are
mayors.
vice mayors common? Oh, we're learning too much. Okay.
We're learning.
Oh,
what's this?
This just in.
What?
There's an article that is being beamed to Robert right now that he needs to take a look at immediately. Coming up
good
on the
Lord.
prompter.
Thank you.
Robert, what's the story?
Thank you, David. This just kept coming in by Christina Larson. Crafty cockatoos master dumpster diving and teach each other. Beware, people. Stay indoors, lock your windows, lock your doors, and protect your children because those cockatoos are learning. They have been teaching each other how to actually get better at dumpster diving. It's almost as good as David, and they're only a few years away. Because it's a Sydney
Almost good as David's perenium diving.
He's done a lot of it. A Sydney scientist noticed a sulfur-crested cockatoo opening his trash bin. Not every resident would be thrilled, but ornithologist Richard Mayer was impressed by the ingenuity. It's quite a feat for a bird to grasp a bin lid with its beak, pry it open, then shuffle far enough along the bin's edge that the lid falls backward, revealing edible trash treasures inside. So it sounds like, essentially, these cockatoos eventually figured out how to open flip-top trash bins, and they've been teaching each other how to do it. They are smart birds.
They are smart ass birds. I got nothing. It was honestly just the visual because you can see the photo.
I love
include
it.
the photo
Yeah.
in the video version.
It's got the little flip-top lid, and you can see him going at it.
Yeah, there's a bunch. They just go for it. So are these wild cockatoos? Sydney has wild cockatoos?
Wild cockatoos. Yeah,
If I
well, I
understand
mean,
correctly.
it's like a very tropical region, so I'm sure they have like some tropical birds that are out there all over the place. I love that it's a sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Sulfur crested. Yeah.
It
'cause
sounds like just
behind
like
their
the
neck.
dolphins, they're also really getting into chemicals. You know, like,
Hey guys, you want to go out back
Guys
and
want
do
some
some
trash?
sulfur? Do you want to do some
Sulfur is
click click
yellow?
pass?
Yeah, you guys want to do some cock pass?
cock pass. Now that is definitely something in the gay culture.
Yeah,
You heard it here first,
cockatoos.
people.
Yeah, they have a little yellow crest. Okay, that's why they're called sulfur crested.
Yeah, look at the picture.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Scientists have documented other examples of social learning in birds. A classic case involves small birds called blue tits that learned to puncture foil lids of milk bottles in the United Kingdom starting in the 1920s. A crafty move, though less complex and physically demanding as opening trash bins. So, real quick diversion.
I've seen
You
those birds
talking
out
about
here.
Blue
The
tits?
blue tits, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think, possibly, this is maybe a conspiracy theory, that the same people who name all of those insane towns in the United Kingdom are somewhat responsible for all of those insane names of birds.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because it's like, you just go back far enough in history when those towns were being named. They are also discovering those birds and they're having to name them. So they're probably coming up with bizarre things like blue tit.
Yep. So just to prove my point, and we should do a segment in a future episode of just like, fake United Kingdom town or real United Kingdom town.
Oh,
And
yes.
see if we can come up with
Yes.
anything. So
Yes.
here are some of the very fun, excuse me, let me collect myself. Here are some very fun bird names. We have the Andean cock of the rock, the great tit, the dick sissel, the bush tit, the Himalayan snowcock, the masked booby. I can't even say it right. The masked booby. Literally, I just picture like, whoop, like revealing the mask. The go-away bird, the woodcock, the blue-footed booby, the horned screamer, common shag. Yeah, these are so English. The common shag. I'm done. This will be a recurring segment.
I love that you screamed. Did you ever see, I think it was from Avatar The Last Airbender. Yeah, they go, you've seen the series?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they go into some swamp and they have these birds that scream? And they're just called
I think so.
Yeah, and they just kind of scream like humans and they say, this place is horrible! Because at night, every now and then, they're like, bah!
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best.
Speaking of screaming birds and that, I think it's birds. There is some bird.
I thought this was going to be a transition to the karaoke game.
No.
That would have been very
But that's
funny.
up next.
Go on.
There is some bird, I think it's a bird that's native to like Scotland and Ireland that sounds like it sounds like a demon or a devil or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they do their calls at night. And so this is where like they believe a lot of the mythology and the fears of hearing like demonic voices and that came at night because people would be out camping or like farmers in the fields or whatever, and they said it was one of the most terrifying like sounding bird calls. And I'm like, birds are amazing. I love birds. I
believe it. Yeah, even like mockingbirds that will sometimes imitate the like crying of babies, like that would scare the shit out of me.
That's
like in the middle of the
terrifying.
forest, like no one's around and you just hear like like that would be
there's
so
one of two
intense.
scenarios. You're either in a forest with a mockingjay or Dave is hooking up in the bushes.
Yeah. I'm not disappointed. I'm just having fun. Don't read too much into my vocalizations.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of vocalizations, we're gonna go to our next segment. We're doing some karaoke and it's unknown. So what does that mean? We've each picked a song that we're gonna pass to the other and they're gonna have to on the moment sing it without knowing anything about it. It's probably gonna be a popular song, but it's gonna be one that you're like, you probably don't really know more than 10% of it. Ready for this, David?
Yeah. Do you want to sing first? Do I want to sing first?
Yeah.
You'll sing first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Here we are. It's called Could Cry, Just Thinking About You by Troy Sivan. Instrumental, lower, higher female original key. So I have no idea what I'm getting into, but I'm clearly covering the entire range. Thank you, David.
What a stinker.
You're a horrible human. Here we
go. I'll be the guitar player.
Some good visuals to pair. We wrote a life all by ourselves. Wish I could put it back on the shelf. But there's a dazzling wave that keeps me at bay with you, my love. I wrote this one all by myself. I could cry just thinking about about you. Every line is something about you. Every guy I want looks something just like you. Every book I read, I only read for you. Every art piece is just to remind me you. I don't know who I am with or without you, but I guess I'm about to find out. Yeah, I guess I'm about to find out.
Oh my god. Okay, you can stop.
Thank you.
Oh.
I feel now I need to listen to the original, not during the show, but just to see how on or off I was.
I mean, you were really close with that chorus.
Really?
Yeah, just the pacing is different in the song, but you were so close. Oh, that was so fun.
I actually kind of like the song. I want to listen to it now.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
All right, my turn.
You're up, David. Tell us what it's all about.
No, Robert, you're in Europe.
What? What?
You said Europe.
Oh gosh.
Did you like my yoke?
You're ready to be a dad.
I'm so ready. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not career ready, but
I'm not emotionally ready. I'm not financially ready. I'm not spiritually ready.
All right.
You'll know this one. I was nicer to you, but it's kind of one of those songs where
karma will come back for me.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of those songs you're not gonna know the actual verses. You're just gonna know the chorus.
Exactly. Okay, sick.
Here it is.
All right, distinguished listeners, this is Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. If it loads. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and the flames went higher. It burns, 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 it burns, it burns, it burns, it burns, it burns, it burns. The taste of love is sweet. Should I keep going?
Pause. No, I said pause, David. Pause.
Like
pause.
ours meet.
Okay, so your pacing was definitely off. Semi on, and then you're like, it's interesting. Like, you pretty much had the tune, but there was these couple moments that I was like, oh, he'll know this part, and you didn't. You knew the parts I didn't expect you to know. You actually knew.
Yeah, I didn't know the timing of the chorus.
Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy.
Oh my gosh, that there was the I think it was the first down where you just kind of like put it out rapid fire. I was like, that's amazing.
Down.
Down. He's like remixed.
Ah, shit. Wow.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah, how did you feel about that?
Well,
one?
we're at about 45.
Perfect.
Do we want to do any other bits, or how you feeling?
No, I'm feeling good. You feeling good? You gonna listen to that song after? Because I'm gonna listen to yours.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you to that was a fail. Thank you for listening to Tissues of the Day. We upload every Friday.
Thank you to Franz Liszt for his fantastic compositions.
Oh, every Friday.
We'll be closing on this final composition by Franz Liszt. Enjoy.
If you want to follow us, just David at Beat Button on the
Fugue
Instagram.
20 in B minor.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah. He also has a YouTube. And it's not on the Bird app because that's a joke.
Oh,
Twitter.
yeah. This kept my... Wow, that was really loud. Yeah, that kept my joke about the Bird app. Yeah, don't follow me on Twitter. Don't follow me
Just
on the
don't.
Bird app.
Don't. But if you do want to follow David, if you missed any of that German stuff or poor German stuff, it's David at BitButton on Instagram, YouTube, and you can follow myself, Robert F. Mackay, on Instagram. My profile is no longer private. I made it public.
Oh, it isn't?
Yeah, I made it public because I realized I never changed that. So, yeah, there's your options out there, internet. But if you've loved the show and you can support us, please donate. Go to the patreon.com/bitbutton or just leave a nice review on iTunes, one of our streaming platforms, about our show. We'd love it. And remember, stay wet, internet.
Right around the perenium. Just kidding.
Cut it.